On today's episode, we will be reviewing Bollywood film OMG 2 and discussing a very important discussion of how to discuss sex with our children.
Yeah.
Quite bold.
Stay tuned. Hi, Namita. So, I recommended a movie for you to watch, OMG 2. For most of our viewers, I just want to tell you guys before we jump into this that Namita, they love Bollywood movies, but because this is her watching time is her husband and her time, and he's not that fond of Hindi movies. So, to recommend a movie to them means it better be top notch. And I watched this film last week and I was dying to discuss with anyone who would talk to me. So I recommended it to my brother, my sister-in-law, my cousins. And Namita, I told her, let's talk about it today.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Well, first of all, what a bold movie and such a sensitive topic. I mean,
Right.
it was a must watch, and both of us, thank you for recommending this. Oh My God 2 is an adult movie. This is the full form of OMG, okay? So
Right.
it's an adult Hindi comedy drama, and it
Right.
stars Akshay Kumar playing a messenger of God. Pankaj Tripathi, what an actor, playing this
What?
role of a father of a teenage boy, and Yami Gautam, who's a lawyer, which was a typical role. What a wonderful movie, Simrit. I have not watched anything like this, yet, which is addressing the teenagers and their the problems, the issues. This is the first time such movie has been made in India, I would say. And besides the fact that it is still entertaining, despite dealing with such a sensitive topic with so much of
Absolutely.
modesty. I mean, and how beautifully the whole story was crafted to include the comedy and some good music. It's amazing. And the acting is superb. Superb.
I agree. I agree. I'm an Akshay fan, right? But wow, Pankaj Tripathi took the cake. I've seen him in other films and he's very good, but he's becoming better and better with every film. He was
Oh,
the star of this movie, hands down, right? Like
yeah,
he was it.
absolutely.
Now, a little bit of spoiler alert. I'm not giving away the movie, but I am giving the background of this movie. Now, this movie revolves around a teenage boy who's embarrassed about the size of his penis, okay? Because a girl dumps him or doesn't dance with him, something. His classmates bully him because, oh, it's because of your size. And they're like going on about it. And then they give him what teenage boys do, misguided information and advice, right?
Yeah.
So they tell him that masturbating will make his size grow. Okay. So wrong. That doesn't happen. And he becomes obsessed with increasing his size, which leads him to take wrong medicines and masturbating constantly, causing, and what they call selfie, because that's what the code word here is, causing him to become more and more insecure and depressed. Now, this further leads to him getting caught. So what they talk about is he's caught on camera by these bullies and it's circulated. So social media is addressed, sexual harassment, sexual bullying happens. And that's all I'm telling you about this storyline. But this leads to the father who maturely realizes that this is not the child's fault. This is a lack of sex education in the school and the parents and irresponsible society. This is great because this addresses so many issues. And I love one thing I have to say, which I told everybody, is that we talk about sexual harassment, bullying, sexual bullying, and social media being misused to when the victim is a woman, whenever the victim is a girl, a teenage girl, most of the times. But this is addressing when the victim becomes a boy as well, which is a different take on it.
Exactly. That is completely the flip side of it, Simrit. You're right. It's always a female who's been recorded and has been,
Victimized.
Exactly. This is the first time, like, oh boy, and that to this with this whole thing which he was doing. So yeah, this was really an interesting side of it. Yeah.
It was really a great, and being a mother of a young boy, and we all have boys and girls, and we sometimes think boys don't need to learn this, but no, this was amazing.
Yeah.
It's not just that they have to be responsible when they're with women, but they have to be responsible about their bodies. This kudos to the writer director of OMG2, Amit Rai. I hope you get to watch this because I'm going to tag you everywhere. But this was an amazing story. And because you're the director, you brought it to life so well. You picked up the best cast. You did the best. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, Simrit. And nobody, the best cast, you're right. Nobody would have done this role perfectly the way this the party has done it. Amazing. And
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
it has created the interest, and also like as a naive parent, like what to do. I mean, this came to him as a surprise. He is in a very religious place where these things are like
Yeah,
it's
he's very traditional, right? He's
traditional.
very cultural, very
And
religious.
see,
He works
despite
in a
of being
mandir. I mean,
exactly this, and the best part was, despite of being in traditional background, religious, spiritual, where these things are like big, big taboo, he was an open-minded man. He accepted
yes.
it and he decided and he understood the problem. Okay, instead of hush, hush, no, no, this and that, running away, he's like, oh no, I have to fight it. This is making sense to me. So this is what it tells.
They showed his character grow so well in the movie as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as a mother of a teenager, I applaud him for trying to make such a bold statement. And
Yeah.
it is essential that we teach our children, whether at home or in school, about sex and sexual health. It worries me that
Yeah.
misinformation that they can get from their peers is detrimental, and not just to their physical health, but to their emotional and mental health as well. The kind of depression and
Absolutely.
anxiety that comes from sexual bullying can lead to lifelong mental trauma and worse, spur of the moment actions, and which can traumatize them for life, you know?
And traumatize the family.
Yeah,
Rather than sitting back and saying, oh, what could I have done? Say, teach your kids, teach them how to talk about things, right? The
yeah,
problem that we face in our society, most society, is that girls are taught about sex. Like, okay, these are your private parts. When we're really young, we're taught this. Nobody can look at you. Don't change in front of somebody. There's stop. There's uncles, aunties, whatever. But boys, and I've discussed this with many people before, and this especially came out when the Nirbhaya case happened, the very sad situation in Delhi. And there was a big panel on NDTV and stuff, and they discussed that. And that really hit me. I always remember this. Boys learn about sex through their peers and porn. Okay. Imagine how dangerous that is. Girls know, yeah, no, you can't do it. That's all we teach traditionally, right?
yeah.
Boys are learning through porn. Okay. Now, when that happens, porn is fantasy. I'm not here to judge that. That's not the topic of today. Um, that there is a lot of violence, a lot of misogynist values are being taught through porn. It's not always, but yeah, there is. You have to teach your kids. It's fantasy. You have to tell your children, this is not what bodies look like. That's not how big sizes are supposed to be. This is really important because porn misguides children, and that's their first exposure to sex. How
Yeah,
scary is that? There's no talk. All of a sudden, they watch this and they're like, oh my God, OMG, what's going on? Right?
yeah,
So, traditionally, we teach girls about sex, deflowering, virginity, of course, izzat, respect your elders also. And this, you are the countries, treat men like gods, right? Traditionally. And
yeah.
then they become the predators. What do you do then? Your girls are inside your house. You haven't had the conversation. You've just told them no. And the statistic I read yesterday when I was doing the research, 90% of children, 90% of children who are abused is by someone they know in their own home.
Wow. That's crazy.
Elder men of the extended, and of course, rarely there are
That
women
is
too.
crazy. Oh my God. Yeah.
Elder men of the extended families and friends. We're not getting into this. Is so scary because they don't know about their rights. Most are so young, they don't even know about their bodies. They don't know the word sex, anything. And somehow in India, we think that education and the educated and privileged classes, this is not happening. Wake up, guys. It's probably more hidden in the privileged and educated classes.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
stop this. But as a parent, what do we do?
Well, Simrit, very important point that even the educated class also is facing a similar problem. But the only way is through education and destigmatizing of sex. That is
Yeah,
what I feel is more important. Contrary to what the critics of sex education say, teaching children will not want them to go out and experiment. It will normalize what they are feeling and teach them to discuss with their elders before they go out and indulge in those dangerous behaviors like unprotected sex
right.
activities and others, and try to enlarge their private body parts and so on. So that's very important. And we don't expect that all young adults will come and tell their parents that they want to have sex or they are feeling that. And
No, that's not gonna happen.
exactly, but no, if the parents have discussed these topics openly at home, there will be no stigma for them to come home and discuss things that lead to sex, like having a crush or a girlfriend or going out on a date, etc. I think one thing
Yeah,
is for sure, talking about it is definitely better than brushing it under the carpet. We should
100%.
talk.
I
Communication,
I agree.
and we always say communication, all kind of communication talk, we should be open to that. We should keep that door open. The communication door has to be open for our children. We shouldn't just say hush
Yeah.
hush, no, no, taboo, oh, you shouldn't be talking about it, oh, you're too small to talk about it, where did you hear this, oh, you must be in a bad company, change your friends, do this.
Which friend told you this? Which
Exactly.
friend told you that?
Then we slap.
Exactly. Blame the others for sure. Right?
Exactly.
No, but I read something really interesting when the kids were younger than what they are now. That when they're coming and talking to you about all the garbage at school, like on the swing set, this happened, or like your daughter's age or maybe younger. Minecraft is like 10 hours about discussing this, or 5 hours about discussing what happened in school. Even when you're impatient, listen to that.
Listen to
Because
that.
those are the doors they're grasping, they're absorbing this. They know moms are listening, dads are listening. But as a teenager, the fact is, no matter what they think of themselves, their brains are not developed. This is a fact. This is a actual fact. And their hormones are overactive, which is also a normal physical change. Now, mentally, it makes it more exciting when they think something is, oh my God, like they can feel it in their body, but their brain isn't developed. They haven't heard anything. So it leads to reckless behavior. Of course, they get caught up in the moment, and that's what leads to dangerous situations. Now, if caregivers discuss these topics academically and age appropriately, as they grow up, somewhere in those tiny developing brains, they've registered what we've said.
Simran, I've heard from so many parents say, "Oh, my child will never do that. Oh, she is."
Oh, yes.
She doesn't
How
even
much
know. She doesn't
नहीं, वो
think like
बहुत
that.
innocent है. उसको interest नहीं है, and we're hearing from
Ah.
school.
Yeah, stop being blind, guys. So pay attention and normalize this whole growing up in your own minds. Stop judging children for having crushes or wanting to be more attractive. This is not normal. They're just growing up. And of course, this generation has moved ahead, fortunately or unfortunately. They are way ahead of us where we were. So forget about it. And maybe in the future they would be they would be God knows. So please normalize their changes. We should play our part, guiding them, giving them knowledge, teaching them good and bad about it. And and they will figure out themselves. But we need to give.
So all these are great points. So today's takeaway, it's time for takeaway. Today's takeaway is watch OMG 2. I even enjoyed the music. I enjoyed that Unchi Unchi Vadi bhajan. I played it nonstop 2 days ago. It was so beautifully done. I loved it. Encourage your children at all ages to discuss whatever they want at home. If you don't know how to answer them, there are tons of ways to learn yourself. Go to professionals, read these books. I got this when my son was younger, How I Got My Belly Button. It's an enchanting story of puberty, sex, and growing up. So if you guys can see this, there are so many. This is just something that I picked up. Do that. Oh, educate yourself and then educate your kids.
Exactly.
Don't make any topic taboo at home. No topic.
Yeah, that's very.
Watch your child and be cautious about any changes in their behavior. Normalize it. Stop judging them. Make your home a safe haven for your children. They should be able to come home, talk about anything, and feel safe, not scared. No matter what they do, my advice to all kids, and just 2 days ago, a friend of mine whose daughter is married, she goes, remember last time we met was when my daughter was going to college and you gave her the best advice. I'm like, what did I say? You said, even if you do something right or wrong, but if you're in trouble somewhere, first call is to your parents. Yeah. Don't worry about the consequences. So make your home safe for your children.
Yeah. Well, that's a great advice, Simrit. That's all on Talk to Us today, but we look forward to hearing from you all. So if there is anything that you guys see that you like about our show, do let us know in the comment section or email us at hello@talktoustoday.com. And let your friends know where to find us.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us on Talk to Us today. Remember to talk to us today.
Yeah.
Keep smiling, keep laughing,
And
keep talking. Very important. Communication.
yeah.
And educate yourself, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next Friday. Bye.